Parsha 2 in Noach, which is Genesis 6:9 to 11:32. Here is the history of Noach. In his generation, Noach was a man righteous and wholehearted. Noach walked with God. Noach fathered 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before God. The earth was filled with violence. God saw the earth, and yes, it was corrupt, for all living beings had corrupted their ways on the earth. God said to Noach, "The end of all living beings has come before me, for because of them the earth is filled with violence. I will destroy them along with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. You are to make the ark with rooms and cover it with pitch both inside and out. Here is how you are to build it. The length of the ark is to be 450 feet, its width 75 feet, and its height 45 feet. You are to make an opening for daylight in the ark 18 inches below its roof. Put a door on its side, and build it with lower, second, and third decks. Then I myself will bring the flood of water over the earth to destroy from under heaven every living thing that breathes. Everything on earth will be destroyed. But I will establish my covenant with you. You will come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. From everything living, from each kind of living being, you are to bring 2 into the ark. To keep them alive with you, they are to be male and female. Of each kind of bird, each kind of livestock, and each kind of animals creeping on the ground, 2 are to come to you so that they can be kept alive. Also take from all the kinds of food that are eaten and collect it for yourself. It is to be food for you and for them. This is what Noach did. He did all God ordered him to do. Adonai said to Noach, "Come into the ark, you and your household, for I have seen that you alone in this generation are righteous before me. Of every clean animal you are to take 7 couples, and of the animals that are not clean, 1 couple. Also of the birds in the air take 7 couples, in order to preserve their species throughout the earth. For in 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. I will wipe out every living thing that I have made from the face of the earth." Noach did all that Adonai ordered him to do. Noach was 600 years old when the water flooded the earth. Noach went into the ark with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives, because of the floodwaters. Of clean animals, of animals that are not clean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the ground, couples, male and female, went into Noach in the ark, as God had ordered Noach. After 7 days the water flooded the earth. On the 17th day of the 2nd month of the 700th year of Noach's life, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the sky were opened. It rained on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day Noach entered the ark with Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noach. Noach's wife and 3 wives of his sons were accompanying them. They and every animal of every species, all the livestock of every species, every animal that creeps on the ground of every species, and every bird of every species, all sorts of winged creatures, they went into Noach in the ark, couples from every kind of living thing that breathes. Those that entered went in, male and female, from every kind of living being, as God had ordered him, and Adonai shut him inside. The flood was 40 days on the earth, and the water grew higher and floated the ark, so that it was lifted up off the earth. The water overflowed the earth and grew deeper until the ark floated on the surface of the water. The water overpowered the earth mightily. All of the high mountains under the entire sky were covered. The water covered the mountains by more than 22.5 feet. All living beings that moved on the earth perished. Birds, livestock, other animals, insects, and every human being. Everything in whose nostril was the breath of the spirit of life. Whatever was on dry land died. He wiped out every living thing on the surface of the ground. Not only human beings, but livestock, creeping animals, and birds in the air. They were wiped out from the earth. Only Noach was left, along with those who were with him in the ark. The water held power over the earth for 150 days. God remembered Noach, every living thing, and all the livestock with him in the ark. So God caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the water began to go down. Also the fountains of the deep and the windows of the sky were stopped. The rain from the sky was restrained, and the water came back from completely covering the earth. It was after 150 days that the water went down. On the 17th day of the 7th month the ark came to a rest on the mountains of Ararat. The water kept going down, and on the 10th month, on the 1st day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen. After 40 days Noach opened the window of the ark which he had built, and he sent out a raven, which flew back and forth until the water dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had gone from the surface of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest, so she returned to him to the ark. Because the water still covered the whole earth, he put out his hand and took her and brought her into him in the ark. He waited another 7 days and again sent the dove out from the ark. The dove came in to him in the evening, and there in her mouth was a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noach knew that the water had cleared from the earth. He waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, and she didn't return to him any more. By the first day of the first month of the 601st year, the water had dried up from off the earth. So Noach removed the covering of the ark and looked, and yes, the surface of the ground was dry. It was on the 27th day of the second month that the earth was dry. God said to Noah, "Go out from the ark, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing you have with you, birds, livestock, and every animal that creeps on the earth, so that they can swarm on the earth. Be fruitful and multiply on the earth." So Noah went out with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives. Every animal, every creeping thing, and every bird, whatever moves on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Noah built an altar to Adonai. He took from every clean animal and every clean bird, and he offered burnt offerings on the altar. Adonai smelled the sweet aroma, and Adonai said in his heart, "I will never again curse the ground because of humankind, since the imaginings of a person's heart are evil from his youth. Nor will I ever again destroy all the living things as I have done. So long as the earth exists, sowing time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will not cease." God blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear and the dread of you will be upon every wild animal, every bird in the air, every creature populating the ground, and all the fish in the sea. They have been handed over to you. Every moving thing that lives will be food for you, just as I gave you green plants before, so now I give you everything. Only flesh with its life, which is in its blood, you are not to eat. I will certainly demand an accounting for the blood of your lives. I will demand it from every animal and from every human being. I will demand every human being an accounting for the life of his fellow human being. Whoever sheds human blood by a human being will his own blood be shed. For God made human beings in his image. And you, people, be fruitful, multiply, swarm on the earth, and multiply on it." God spoke to Noah and his sons with him, and he said, "As for me, I am herewith establishing my covenant with you, with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every wild animal with you, all going out of the ark, every animal on earth. I will establish my covenant with you, that never again will all living beings be destroyed by the waters of a flood, and there will never again be a flood to destroy the earth." God added, "Here is the sign of the covenant I am making between myself and you, and every living creature with you, for all generations to come. I am putting my rainbow in the cloud. It will be there as a sign of the covenant between myself and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow is seen in the cloud, I will remember my covenant, which is between myself and you, and every living creature of every kind, and the water will never again become a flood to destroy all living beings. The rainbow will be in the clouds, so that when I look upon it, I will remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of any kind on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant which I have established between myself and every living creature on the earth." The sons of Noah who went out from the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and the whole earth was populated by them. Noah, a farmer, was the first to plant a vineyard. He drank so much of the wine that he got drunk and lay uncovered in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father shamefully exposed, went out and told his two brothers. Shem and Japheth took a cloak, put it over both their shoulders, and walking backwards went in and covered their naked father. Their faces were turned away so that they did not see their father laying there shamefully exposed. When Noah awoke from his wine, he knew that his youngest son had done to him. He said, "Cursed be Canaan, he will be a servant of servants to his brothers." And then he said, "Blessed be Adonai, the God of Shem. Canaan will be their servant. May God enlarge Japheth, he will live on the tents of Shem, but Canaan will be their servant." After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. In all, Noah lived 950 years, and then he died. Here's the genealogy of the sons of Noah. Shem, Ham, and Japheth were the sons born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphat, and Togarmah. The sons of Yavin were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the islands of the nations were divided into their lands according to its language, according to the families in their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Sava, Haviel, Savata, Ramah, and Savka. The sons of Ramah were Sheva and Dedan. Cush fathered Nimrod, who was the first powerful ruler on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Adonai. This is why people say, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Adonai. His kingdom began with Bavel, Ekrad, Akrad, and Kinah, in the land of Shinar. Asher went out from that land and built Nineveh, the city Rechavat, Kelek, and Rezin, between Nineveh and Kelek. This is one of the great cities. Mitzrah fathered the Ludlam, the Anim, and the Livium, and the Nephtuchim, the Pitzrim, the Casluchim, from whom came the Plishtim, and the Kiphtharim. Canaan fathered Zidon, his firstborn, Het, the Usavi, the Emri, the Girgashi, the Hivi, the Arki, the Sinai, the Arvadi, the Zimari, and the Hamadi. Afterwards the families of Kenai were dispersed. The borders of Kenai were from Zidon, where you go towards Gar, to Ahazah, as you go towards Sodom, Amorah, Adama, and Zavoyim, to Lesha. These were the descendants of Ham according to their families and languages, in their lands and in their nations. Children were born to Shem, ancestors of the descendants of Eber and the older brother Yephet. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Yitzhul, Geder, and Mash. Arpachshad fathered Shelek, and Shelek fathered Ever. To Ever were born two sons. One was given the name Peleg, which means division, because during his lifetime the earth was divided. His brother's name was Yoktan. Yoktan fathered Almadad, Shelef, Hatzarmavet, Yerek, Hadoram, Uzal, Diklan, Oval, Avimael, Shiva, Ophir, Havilah, and Yovav. Of these were the sons of Yoktan. Their territory reached from Mesha, as you go towards Sephar, to the mountains in the east. These were the descendants of Shem according to their families and languages, in their land and in their nations. And these were the families of the sons of Noach according to their generations, in their nations. From these nations of the earth were divided up after the flood. The whole earth used the same language, the same words. It came about that as they traveled from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and lived there. They said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and bake them in the fire. So they had bricks for building, stone, and clay for mortar. Then they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that has its top reaching up into heaven, so that we can make a name for ourselves and not be scattered all over the earth. Adonai came down to see the city and the tower that people were building. Adonai said, Look, the people are united. They all have a single language, and see what they are starting to do. At this rate, nothing they set out to accomplish will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so that they won't understand each other's speech. So from there Adonai scattered them all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. For this reason it is called Bavel, which means confusion, because there Adonai confused the language of the whole earth, and from there Adonai scattered them all over the earth. Here is the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he fathered Arpachshad, 2 years after the flood. After Arpachshad was born, Shem lived another 500 years and had sons and daughters. Arpachshad lived 35 years and fathered Shelek. After Shelek was born, Arpachshad lived another 403 years and had sons and daughters. Shelek lived 30 years and fathered Ever. After Ever was born, Shelek lived another 403 years and had sons and daughters. Ever lived 34 years and fathered Peleg. After Peleg was born, Ever lived 430 years and had sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and fathered Rhea. After Rhea was born, Peleg lived another 209 years and had sons and daughters. Reu lived 32 years and fathered Serug. After Serug was born, Reu lived another 207 years and had sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years and fathered Nachor. After Nachor was born, Serug lived another 200 years and had sons and daughters. Nachor lived 29 years and fathered Terach. After Terach was born, Nachor lived another 119 years and had sons and daughters. Terach lived 70 years and fathered Abram, Nachor, and Haran. There is the genealogy of Terach. Terach fathered Abram, Nachor, and Haran fathered Lot. Haran died before his father Terach in the land where he was born, in Ur of Kidsim. Then Abram and Nachor took wives for themselves. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nachor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran. He was the father of Milcah and Yishka. Sarah was barren; she had no children. Terach took his son Abram, his son Haran's son Lot, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, the son Abram's wife, and they left Ur of Kishtan to go to the land of Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they stayed there. Terach lived 205 years, and he died in Haran.